Good Day Oregon Home and Garden is presented by Lysix, Fireplaces and Stoves.
Hello and welcome to Good Day Oregon Home and Garden. I'm your host, David Schmidtke. You are watching the area's only local weekly home improvement show for Oregon and Southwest Washington. I'm at Molten Falls Park. This is northeast of Battleground. And you've joined us at a pretty special morning because this is the debut of our first full-length half-hour-long show. So it figures that since I'm outdoors, we should probably talk about your doors and how to refinish them. This door, this is my front door, and it's in bad shape. It really is. I don't know what someone used on it. It may have been polyurethane because, the door expands and contracts with the temperature. Polyurethane does not, so you get cracking, ghosting, kind of milky appearance to it. So today I want to show you, if you've got a problem like this, how to fix it. Good catch. Sanding, that's what we got to do. A whole lot of sanding. This is the most non-fun part. I'm going to put on some safety glasses too. Here's the deal. I don't want to change the color of the door. If I did, I'd have to sand this all down to bare wood or take it someplace like the Halk Stripping Center for like $100 to dip it, and then I could start all anew. But I just need to do what's called break the glaze. I got to break the glaze of the existing finish. I'm going to use these little pads here to get in the tight spots. And my rule of thumb when sanding, do the little nooks and crannies first. Because if I were to start just with my big Wally sander here, if I were to start with this and do the fun, easy, well, fun, I do the easy parts, by the time I got to the not fun parts, I'd probably be thinking about, going down to the corner store for a beer or a refreshing adult beverage. So, now we sand. Sanding, boring, 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 sanding in the heat. Well, before I get too far down the sanding line here, another thing got to do, take the hardware off. There we go. Now we can get out the big sander. Now it's time to sand. You'll notice that I always sand with the grain, but I have the sander at kind of a little bit of a 45-degree angle. That reduces sander marks. I'll use a thinner grit next, and so to completely get rid of any kind of sanding marks that I may see. And oh, by the way, you probably want to wear some kind of lung and nose and mouth protection. We're all done with the sanding. So now I'm taking a damp, not soaking wet, but a damp rag, and I'm just going to wipe it down. Let it sit for a half hour, and then we're going to put on the varnish, and I want to talk to you about varnish. This is called spar urethane. You may also hear of spar varnish. It's a marine grade kind of varnish. This is what you want to use on doors, okay? Another thing you want to do is never apply any stain or varnish or urethane in the sun because it will bubble. Work from the center out. That way if you get any drips, you'll be covering them up as you move out. One problem with spar urethane, it takes a long time to dry. So what I had to do was take the weekend. Oh, by the way, good use for old shower curtain liners, drop cloths. In this case, they were my wall for the weekend while I put on 2 or 3 more coats of spar urethane. I moved the door inside. It's a lot better than it used to look like, but I can see little goober spots in places where I was in a hurry. I should have actually started with this down in the garage to begin with because there's less air movement down here. That's one of the things you'll want to think about when you do this. after your final coat, you want to wait about, they say, 12 hours or so before you start to put the door back together. So I'm just putting the hardware back on. It's really simple. Just reverse it the way that you did it. Then we'll just herc it back upstairs and put it in. And you can see the contrast between this door and the remaining one that I still have left to do. You can see quite a contrast to the other door. Is my newly urethane door perfect? Well, no, I don't think so. I can find all kinds of flaws. But again, it looks much better than the old one does. And like I say, it'll get me a few more years. Hey, Boris. And now, our quick tip of the day. Hey, you want your sandpaper to last longer? Well,